Hi, my name is Matthew Bellisario. Thank you for coming by the BellisarioSonic YouTube channel from the heart of the Deep South on the outskirts of Birmingham, Alabama, where we talk about music, records, do record reviews, have conversations with very generous musicians that come on the channel and talk about their career and their records. So a lot more of those to come. If you missed the Simon Phillips interview, go back and check that out if you want to learn how a digital recording can sound analog. You don't want to miss that. And the last interview that I had yesterday with Miguel Atwood Ferguson, go check that out. He talks about his 4-record album that just came out not too long ago, the first of 3 parts. Today, I have an intense record that I think is some people may find a little hard to digest. This is really going into free jazz, and we're talking about one of the legends of free jazz, Dave Liebman. From New York, from Brooklyn, one of the pioneers of the free jazz movement. And it's taken me, admittedly, a while to get into free jazz. This album here is intense. It's called Fire, and it is fire. You've got Liebman, of course, playing the saxophone here, the tenor saxophone, the soprano sax. He plays a flute on here as well. You've got Kenny Werner on piano. You've got the great Dave Holland on bass and the legend Jack Dejohnette on drums. This was recorded in 2016 and released in 2016. I've not heard this on record yet. I've listened to this online. This is a very intense body of work. I just have to play it so you can hear it like I do on all these reviews. I love sharing the music with you and playing the music with you rather than explaining it. But if you don't know anything about Dave Liebman, you should. There's 2 fantastic books that I've actually finished reading over the past few months. Dave Liebman's Self-Portrait as a Jazz Artist, fantastic book. If you want to learn about jazz, he gives you a basic overview of what jazz is, but really goes into the ideas of what improvisation is and gets into what free jazz is and how to practice, all that kind of stuff, kind of from a musician standpoint, but anybody I think would enjoy reading it. And then this other book, Ruminations and Reflections, is a fantastic book too, where he goes through his career along with Richie's career. These two have played together for a long time. This is a really cool book to read, and from just a jazz lover's perspective, anybody I think would really enjoy this. It's a good read, so I do recommend those. But Dave Liebman, born in 46 in Brooklyn, was part of the whole jazz loft scene with free jazz. A lot of these people meeting up in the lofts and playing together and experimenting. He actually came up learning from Lenny Tristano and Charles Lloyd. And interestingly enough, he graduated with a degree in American history. But anyways, I won't go into all the details here, but really a phenomenal musician. And this demands the listener's attention. This is not something that you can put on and, sit back and, as background music or something you're doing around the house. This demands the listener's attention to sit down and listen to this. It's very intense, very improvised music where these guys think about how you sit among your friends and have a conversation, talking. These guys are doing it on the instruments. So I'm going to go ahead and take the first record out. Does come in anti-static sleeves. You can find these. I found this one on eBay. They run around $35, 2-record set. A little bit different running order on the records than you have on the streaming or the CD. But here we go. We're gonna play Flash. I'll play the first track off of here, and I'll flip it over. We'll play something off the other side, and then I'll put on the second record. We'll play something off that. But these are very lengthy pieces, most of them. There's a lot going on. Again, this is all improvised. You have 4 masters of improvisation here, and really cool stuff. So I'm going to spray this off real quick. We're going to have a listen, and you guys leave your comments. I appreciate you guys participating. participating in this channel, sharing the music. I buy all these records myself, and most of them are demonetized. I do it for the sheer joy of sharing the music with you guys, and so I really appreciate it. And I think the artists probably appreciate it when you guys share, give the thumbs up, and all that stuff, so that the music goes out there and people can actually hear it. Again, I'm a big fan of the Blue Notes. I'm a big fan of the reissues, but probably about now 60% or 70% of my record reviews are from modern working musicians, and that's just important to me for what this channel is about, is giving opportunities, more opportunities to working musicians that are keeping the jazz tradition alive. And I don't do just jazz, but a lot of it is jazz because that's what I'm into. All right, so we're gonna put this on. The first track is called Flash. And again, for some people, this record might be difficult to get into. It's one of these records you can't go into with any expectations. That's the thing. Gay folk. These are the tracks. I mean, the playing is so intense, so nice sounding record so far. Well recorded. You've got a nice mix. It's got pretty decent depth. It's not the warmest recording I've ever heard, but it sounds pretty good. It's not harsh sounding. Horns sound fantastic. The sax there. Bass does have a nice full sound. Piano. The drums sound pretty good. It's recorded at Avatar Studios in New York. Liebman's been on over 250 albums of his own, and I mean a really prolific artist that's recorded just even on as a sideman as well. But he's been on all kinds of albums. Yeah, I mean, the drums sound really cool. I mean, you could, piano. I mean, this is intense stuff. Again, it's one of these things you have to sit down, you have to make an effort to listen, but you also have to come to this music without any expectations. You can't come to it with your own preconceived notions on what you think it should sound like. That's the key with this. Just sit back and take it in. Recorded in 2016 but was released in 2018. And again, these guys are legends. They don't, you know, you hear them in this setting, a free jazz setting, but these guys come from jazz tradition. They understand it. You don't just jump out of the bed and play this. I mean, Dave Liebman's played with Miles Davis. He's played with Elvin Jones. Nice sounding record overall. Jacket, matte finish, you know, about average, I guess, card stock. Again, nice package. A little write up in here about this recording. Cool stuff. And again, it's taken me a while to be able to get into to free jazz. It really has. You know, when I first heard it, I couldn't really get into it, and over the years, it's and again, I think part of it is just your approach coming to it. So there's the first track. I'm gonna go ahead and flip the record over. That one was called Flash. The next one's called Flames. So let me go ahead and put that on. So far the pressing's been pretty good. I haven't heard any noise. It's flat. So far pretty decent. Let's see if it stays that way. I'm hearing a little noise here on this side. Actually, a lot of noise on this side. It's actually got just a little bit of a warp to it looking at it. You really didn't see it too much from the other side. That's kind of strange. I'll go ahead and take it back off here for a minute, because coming from the other, I'll go ahead and wipe this off again. Really looked like it was flat from the other side. I didn't see the needle, the stylus going up and down, and when I'm playing it from on side B, I can see a little bit of a warp. So let's see. And that sucks too, because I've had this for a while trying to return this one. I waited too long on some of these records, you know. I waited too long after buying them. And then once you get past like 30 days, you can't return them. So this has got a little noise on this side, and I can see just a little bit of a warp, and every time I can see it barely go up, I hear noise here, so that kind of sucks. Because there's a lot of dynamics on this record too. There's a lot of empty spaces and things, and so when you hear that surface noise there, it takes away from it. Yeah, that really sucks. So again, the tunes are pretty long on here. Yeah, so the other side was clean, and it looked fairly flat. I mean, I flip it over, and now I see just a little bit of a warp, and I've got some surface noise. Play for a little longer, then I'm gonna put the second record on, check that out, and see if it's warped or if it's good. Again, this has been sitting here for a while now. I gotta quit doing that. You know, I'll get those, and then I'll get something else, and then yeah, so there's the noise is kind of quieted down a little bit, but it's still there a little bit, and so that's a little disappointing. Again, I really didn't see the warp from the one end, on the one side, but when I flipped it over now, you have just a little bit of a warp, and as it goes up, I can hear the noise there. So what I'm gonna do now is put on the second record and have a listen there. The second record's only made up of one tune called Fire. So you have Fire Part 1 and Fire Part 2. They take up the entire side of both sides of the second record. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that on and see how the quality is. I hope it's okay on that one. I have to quit buying so many records at a time to where they get, I get behind, and then it's like a month and a half goes by, and all of a sudden I can't return them. That's not good. So this looks flat, and so far quiet. So again, this is all one piece of music on this second record called Fire. It's Part 1 and Part 2, you can see here. So again, just intense playing, conversation, between these four guys, and all these four guys are masters. Been around forever. I mean, Kenny Werner on piano, Dave Holland on bass, Jack Dejohnette on drums. I mean, you don't get any more competent musicians on a record. And of course, Dave Liebman. I do recommend checking them out, going online, and I've got, where is it at? I do have a sealed copy of his live album Pendulum, and it's still sealed. This is from 1978, so I want to open this up and do a video on that. It's a little torn there, but it's a sealed copy. So it comes with an 8-page booklet inside, and so yeah, I'm excited about opening that up. So it kind of gives you an idea of what this is. This is a very dynamic record. It is, again, you have to come to this album without any expectations and sit down and listen to it, and listen to the conversation, listen to the musical conversation that happens. And there you have it. So I'll let a little bit more of this play before I close out the video. Stay tuned for more reviews. I've got tons of stuff here that I've got to get done, so I'm probably going to try to crank up to 7 days a week, and I'm dropping them at 2 p.m. All the reviews are at 2 p.m. I'm trying to drop them a little earlier in the afternoon, see if that is better for people. And then my conversations on Sunday are dropping at noon on Sunday, which will be all the interviews. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Please leave me comments, give thumbs up, share the music with other people. And we'll see you next time. Happy listening to you all. Take care.